Hey, what's up everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again, doing another discography countdown of one of my favorite bands. Today we're going to be talking about the black metal legends Taake. This is some second wave black metal from Norway. Maybe they weren't like right the first ones on the scene in the early 90s. They only really started like the later 90s, but they really honed that sound, that early Norwegian black metal sound, made it their own. They really bring in a lot of like folk elements. Like a lot of the melodies really have a folky feel to it. I definitely would not call this folk metal at all. I don't want to confuse what I'm saying here. It's very much just straight ahead black metal, but really with some folk touches. Just really write great fucking riffs. The vocals are so fucking aggressive. It started out as like basically a one-man band. The guy's name Hoest. There's gonna be a lot of mispronunciations in this video, so I apologize in advance. But he is just a fucking black metal genius. The riffs he writes are absolutely amazing. His vocals are fucking crazy. He always gets like session drummers to help out, so it's not truly a one-man band. And these days, they have a full lineup, so they actually play live shows. But when they started out, as far as I know, they weren't really doing live shows. It was basically just putting out albums. But man, there are some quality fucking black metal albums. There are 7 albums. I'm going to rank them from my least favorite down to my favorite. So let's just get right into this. Coming in last, my least favorite Taake album from 2014 is Striden Hus. One, like I said before, I'm probably mispronouncing a lot of these. This is by no means like a terrible album. It's just my least favorite Taake album. There's not really any bad ones. Like, I would still give this a 7 out of 10. This one, it's kind of straightforward, starting to kind of bring in some different elements. There's a lot of like black and roll feel to this. This isn't as like pure black metal and aggressive as the earlier albums. Really started to experiment a lot more with some different sounds by this time. But yeah, like I said, by no means a bad album. There's still tons of crazy riffs. That's really what Taake is known for, is just writing fucking great black metal riffs. My favorite songs on here are Binger, that one's really good. Det Fins on Preens, mispronouncing all these. But just nonetheless, this is still a pretty good album. But for me, this was an easy choice coming in last. Easily my least favorite of the 7 albums. Up next at number 6 is the self-titled album from 2008. I actually got the poster over there, so you might have thought that was going to be a lot higher on my list. But I just really like the fucking artwork, and that's why I have a poster of it. But yeah, once again, this is not a bad album at all. I would give this a 7.5 out of 10. This is the 4th album. The first 3 albums were like such fucking masterpieces. This one didn't quite live up to that. This is where they started changing a little bit. Started to experiment with some different sounds. Like I said with the last album too, bringing in some more black and roll stuff, but this is still very black metal based. Just this album, I find it's like a little uneven, maybe a little inconsistent, but it's still really fucking good. There's still great songs on here. Dødsjarl, that one, fucking best song on the album, absolutely amazing. Velborg Livet, more mispronunciations. That song is really fucking great too. All in all, this album is still very listenable. I still like to listen to it. This is by no means a bad album. I like all Taake albums. This one's just coming here because I like the other 5 better. So speaking of the next 5, let's get into it. Coming in at number 5 from 2011 is Norges Vapen. This one is definitely their most experimental album, and a lot of people probably have this ranked higher than number 5. It is a very fucking solid album, easily an 8 out of 10. I just like the other 4 better, but yeah, this is still really fucking excellent. The riffs are so crazy. Of course, this album is known for having a song with a banjo solo on it, but it works. He makes it work. That song is called Myr, M-Y-R. Really cool little banjo solo in the middle of a black metal song. But my favorite songs on the album are Nordbundet and Del Vil Altid Klega Alkito. Once again, I do not know how to say any of this stuff. It's all in Norwegian. But if you know the album, you'll know which song I'm talking about. You can match up the words close enough to what I'm saying. But yeah, still really great fucking songs. That last one I mentioned is the last track on the album, and it's like 10 minutes long. So yeah, that one is definitely the epic song on the album. That's absolutely amazing. I really like this album, just can't put it higher than 5. Up next at number 4 is the most recent album from 2017, Kong Vinter. This one really fucking stood out to me after a couple, I don't want to say missteps because there's no bad albums, but I didn't like Norges Vapen and Street and Hus as much as the first 3 albums. But then this one really came back. This one, once again, is not as good as the first 3 albums, but this one is still really fucking good album. Just riffs galore, so fucking good. All the songs on here are awesome. It's a little bit more back to basics. It's not as experimental as the last couple albums. There's really a dark atmosphere on here. The production doesn't sound like as polished as the last couple albums, but I like that. It suits the black metal better, that it's a little rougher of a production. My favorite songs on here are In Trenger. That's a really fucking good one. Jörnbrand, I don't know how to fucking say this stuff. The very last track on the album, yeah, it's fucking instrumental, and it's about 10 minutes. It's kind of a throwback. Their earlier albums, they always put instrumentals on there, and they're all really fucking killer instrumentals too, so he kind of did a little bit of a throwback. This whole album has a throwback feel to it. It's really fucking killer, so don't write it off just because it's newer. I know it's from 2017, but it's still some killer fucking black metal. Now let's get into the top 3. This is where it gets really hard because the first 3 Taake albums are all fucking masterpieces. I don't even know, like, which one is better. These could change on any given day. I absolutely adore all 3 of these albums. I don't know too many fucking black metal bands that have started their career with 3 albums that are as good as this. I would be very fucking hard pressed to find the first 3 albums of a band that are as good as these. There's probably a couple examples out there, but very few. These are all like 9.5, borderline 10 out of 10 albums. Absolute fucking masterpieces. If you've never heard Taake, please do yourself a favor and go listen to these first 3 albums. If you like black metal at all in any capacity, you have to listen to these 3 albums because they're that fucking good. So anyways, let's get right into this, see where I have which one. Coming in at number 3, I have the second album with his Over Björgvin Grater Himmerik. This is from 2002. These first 3 albums, they don't really have song names. Each of the songs is just like part 1, part 2. They're all 7 songs. But nonetheless, I can still pick out my favorite ones. Off this album, my favorite songs are the first opening track, part 1, absolutely amazing. Part 4, the riff in there is so goddamn good. Part 3 has this, like, I don't know what the instrument's called. It's like very folky. It's like a bong, but it goes right with the riff, and it just like suits it so goddamn well. And then, like I was saying with Kong Vinter, this album does have a really killer instrumental on it. It's fucking track 6, I believe, on here. It's really fucking good. No, sorry, it's track 7. I'm screwing up here. Track 7 is the instrumental that's very good on this album. And yeah, all in all, this is a really killer album with tons of great riffs. Almost put it higher than number 3, but these next 2 are just as good, if not better. So coming in at number 2, I'm putting the debut, Nattestid Sir Portvin Vid. This one, same thing, 7 tracks. None of them have song names, just part 1, part 2, part 3, etc. Oh, the vocals on this album are so fucking harsh and aggressive. Like, Hoest is one of the best black metal vocalists out there. There are also a couple parts in a couple of these songs where they put in a little bit of clean singing, and it's fucking gorgeous. I don't think it's Hoest doing that. I think they got a guest vocalist. But the couple parts, like, it's not overdone. There's just really a couple sprinkled in there, but it's really fucking good. It gives it a really nice vibe. This is a really nice old school black metal feel to it. The atmosphere is so fucking good here. So many goddamn good riffs. Favorite songs, opening track, absolutely fucking amazing. Track 4 is the instrumental on here. It's really good. Track 7, the closing track, is like 9 minutes. It's so goddamn good. The riffing in here is so amazing. Like, this ending song, it's one of my favorite Taake songs, easily. Track 7 off the debut. Please go listen to it if you have not heard it. So goddamn good. And that just leaves one album, And to me, the best Taake album is their third album from 2005, Hordalands Dodskvad. Same thing, 7 tracks, all just part 1, part 2, part 3, etc. And yeah, I've been talking a lot about riffs galore, but this album like takes it to even another level. The amount of good black metal riffs on this album is fucking insane. Like, it may seem like there's too many riffs, it doesn't stick with one idea too long, but it's like every riff is necessary. It brings in the nice folky melodies in here, so goddamn good. Once again, the opening track, like, he really knows how to do opening track. Part 1 on this album, absolutely amazing. Easily one of my favorite Taake songs. This one, track 6, is the instrumental, which is really fucking good too. And once again, the closing song, track 7, is so good. It's a longer one again. The last few minutes of this song kind of like pauses, then goes into this nice, great fucking closing riff. Absolutely amazing. I just fucking love this album to bits. I love Taake so much. Black metal fucking legend. I feel like he doesn't get enough recognition. This band is so goddamn good, especially these first 3 albums. So yeah, like I said, if you haven't heard Taake and you like black metal, please go listen to these albums. But anyways, I've been ranting enough here. Let me know down below what your favorite Taake albums are. If I'm mispronouncing any of this, let me know that down below too. I'd love to know how to say some of these things if I'm saying them completely wrong. And anyways, yeah, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Until next time, Hammerheart Metal Reviews out.